So there was Jesus sitting there on the altar, looking out on the people as they were looking up at him. During Eucharistic adoration, there was this procession up, and suddenly people started reaching for their phones to shoot video because something looked a little different. Some kind of pulsating Eucharist or something was going on here. Perhaps you've heard about this possible Eucharistic miracle out of near Guadalajara, Mexico, Our Lady of the Rosary parish. A visiting priest from Argentina, Father Carlos Spahn was his name, and he had just celebrated Mass. He had just opened up adoration, and he was actually making his way to the sacristy when people started shooting video and getting his attention. So he came back and said, okay, everybody, whatever you shot, send it to me now to make sure that nothing's been doctored. Let's make sure nothing's been doctored here. And apparently this happened more than once between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. This was, I believe the date was July 23rd, 2022. And so that's why you're seeing the videos you're seeing here on this Men's Morning Light. Welcome to it. My name is Trapper Jack, and I'm excited by Eucharistic miracles because they just keep showing us over and over again that what we know by faith is actually true. And so this Father Carlos Spahn, he lets us know now, right now, what happened this particular night at church.
Isn't you what happened here in Guadalajara? We had Mass, the conference, we exposed the Blessed Sacrament. As soon as I exposed it, this happened. As soon as we opened the curtains, because the tabernacle was covered with curtains, we opened it and this happened. Precisely that day that person had to be in adoration, that night. And you see how the host is inflated like a heart. You see how it has a systole and distole movement. And the heart beats at the perfect rhythm of a human being. That was analyzed by a doctor. He looked at the movement of it, and he says that it's a perfect heart with exact movement. This just happened, and also in that Mass, a lady who got a strong conversion took the communion, and the host beat inside her mouth. That happened, and she was very surprised. And then this happened, something objective that showed that this is indeed like this, because it happened to her in her mouth, and it happened outside too. So well, I will show it to you because it can help a lot of people who dabbled in the Eucharist or whatever. But very nice things have happened to us these days on doing mission. Very nice conversion. God bless you, Father Carlos Spahn.
And if you know anything about Eucharistic miracles, you know that anytime the Eucharist turns into something else, the something else is always heart tissue. Always. Every time. And always the left ventricle, the part of your heart that's keeping you alive right now. It's pushing the blood, giving you that beat, right? So here's God. If this is a Eucharistic miracle, he's helping us connect the dots. We know that the bread always turns into heart tissue, and so here's this pulsating like a heart, like a human heart, the sacred heart of Jesus. Father Spahn would go on to say, he says, I'm not the one to say it's a miracle or not. That's up to the church. But I'll tell you what I believe. My interpretation is that this is the heart of Christ. That this is this heart beating love for all of us. This is a heart that, unfortunately, he laments about this. He says, this is a heart that's despised, it's outraged, it's abandoned, it's mistreated. We need to give greater care to Christ's heart, greater devotion, greater faith. Another bit of, call it breadcrumbs, if you will, that make this more Eucharistic, miraculous in nature, is what happened a few hours before this pulsating Eucharist. Father Spahn involved again. Someone had brought to him a picture framed, encased in glass, of a young Carlo Acutis. Perhaps you've heard of him. He died when he was 15, on his way to sainthood. He's blessed right now. Huge devotion to Eucharistic miracles, to the point where this computer-savvy guy put together this internet display that you can download, or your parish can download, of all these Eucharistic miracles. Well, he had just blessed a picture of Carlo Acutis, and shortly after that, it began to ooze oil. Again, here's God. If this is a miracle, connecting Carlo Acutis, loves Eucharistic miracles, and connecting a young person, not an old geezer, a young person where faith is the least when it comes to the Eucharist, tying Carlo Acutis, tying it to this potential Eucharistic miracle. The mother of Carlo Acutis then contacted Father Spahn, Can you tell me anything more? He says, no, that we can't understand this. This is nothing that we can tell in a scientific way, but something happened here. I do like what Father Mark Goring had to say about this. He said he connected it not just to John 6, where there's all the Eucharistic talk, but he also connected it to another part of John's gospel, where all the apostles are out fishing, catching nothing all night, and this man appears on the shore, and he says, throw your nets over there. And they throw their nets over there, and of course they catch this huge abundance of fish. And it's John who connects the dots. I think I've seen this before. And he says, it is the Lord. It is the Lord. It is the Lord. So when you have the Catholic bishops right now saying we're on a 3-year plan, a revival for Eucharistic belief, because we're down to 30% of Catholics believe that the Eucharist is Jesus Christ. So 3-year plan. First revolving around the diocese, then to the individual parishes, and ultimately then to the nation. A 3-year plan. And God comes along and says, well, let me help out a little bit. And he does that with Eucharistic miracles. They just wake us up. And here, if this is miraculous, and it sure does to many of us who just follow the breadcrumbs, we see Jesus just kind of like wave his hand for 20, 30 seconds, get this pulsating Eucharist, connecting it to Carlo Acutis and saying, do you recognize me? Do you believe yet? As he said in the Bible, I am the living bread from heaven. Jesus Christ, the living bread. God bless you. See you next week on Men's Morning Light.